Hello everyone, Russell here, and now we're going to move into the next part of the process map within the Domain Web Studio application. Matt, what happens from here? We've had a general overview of the Empire building system, and so what are you going to show us next? How are you thinking about it?
Okay, right. What I'm going to do to save time, so I don't have to go through the process of showing you guys actually setting up a whole project and keying everything, I'm just going to take you into the actual controls of what we have for our Empire, what's actually required, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at our actual website. What details are required for a website?
Okay, so we're going to go into an Empire.
Yeah. So I'm going to come into our Empire over here, and this gives me a list of all the empires. So we're going to look at Sarah's one, and we just want to briefly look inside it. Okay.
Now where you're at right now is what screen?
This is create a new empire.
Okay, and you're looking at one of your clients or one of your empires?
Yes, these are all the empires, and this is where we create all the empires. So we're going to basically, if I want to create a new empire, I'm going to just fill in the name of the empire, so it can be a client name, and then what is the scope?
Okay, what's it for? What are you doing? Purpose, like we talked about before, right?
Yeah, that's typically what you're filling in. In like 250 characters, just try and put down what is the key point, or what is the purpose of this site that you're going to build within the empire.
Okay.
Then you just click create new empire.
Okay.
And typically it'll fall into your list over here. Once that's created and you created your empire container, you essentially can go start building all your sites within the empire. So we're going to look at sarahthecruise.com here, and what's going to happen is I'm just going to click on the update parameters, and we'll show you what we did to set up Sarah's site. So when you create a new site, you basically get a template which comes and asks you a whole bunch of questions about your website, the URLs, the key points, okay? So what we've got here is the primary target keyword, and this is the theme keyword. The whole website's about makeup artists. This is the keyword I want to get ranked for. I want to own that keyword.
So this is a general idea, probably the best idea or the most important money idea behind this site.
Yes, this is the driving factor. This is what the business is about. And this can be changed at any point in time, and it won't influence the actual project. It's just your keystone that you put there, bang.
It's like kind of like a stake in the ground. So
yes.
Okay.
We put a stake in the ground.
It's nothing to do with theming, nothing to do with LSI or any of that stuff. It's just a stake in the ground.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So then what we've got here is the website. So there's an existing domain. This is an existing website. So I'm going to come into this website. I'm going to put the architecture and I'm going to build out. So I'll put the URL in over there. There's no blog at this point in time, so I just leave it blank. The profile name is basically whatever I want to call it. And this is my primary website, and over here I can define what type of web ring I'm building out.
Okay, and for those of you who've seen this stuff for the first time, we have a pretty sophisticated definition of the various layers within an empire to maintain domain, page rank, and traffic integrity using all the signals in the right way. This is created by Theme Zoom architect Sue Bell and Matt DeCruz and myself. So we're not going to get into the definitions, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the scope and the possibility of this tool. That actually, literally, when you're building an empire, the potential is to actually reach multiple layers of rings deep at later stages.
Yes.
Very advanced stuff, and that's enough for now. Would you have anything to add to that, Sue, since it's really your...
If you really want to know more, you have to come to certification.
Yes, if you do want to know more about that, you actually do have to come to a live certification event where Sue, Matt, and I walk you through this. Thanks, Matt. I just had to insert
sure.
From shameless self-promotion right there.
Exactly.
But then what we got here is our social media account details, where we can put in our elevator pictures, and this doesn't have to get done right now. If you know what it is, fill it in, because the system's stackable. Whatever you put in the front gets carried all the way through. So it's always keyed in once, and it follows you all the way through the project. It's not rekeying all the time. It follows you, so you're actually just building all the time.
Yeah, it's good to have that elevator approach too. For those of you who have not got one, go ahead and take a look at the irresistible offer. It will help you come up with that and so much more. Thanks, Matt.
Cool. And then basically what we have next is the target search engine we are going to target, the currency that we want to run in, and then we've got the silo settings. And just to summarize this very quickly, the silo structures are basically broken down into 3 layers for the website. And what we're doing is we're segmenting the market into bands so that we can look at the keywords in an effective way. We don't have a list of keywords, we're actually segmenting the list into different layers based on the competing pages, and that's what we do over here. The default settings are fine. If you don't know about this, you can leave the default settings, they'll work with you. The next thing we're doing is we're putting costings. What does it cost us for a backlink, to write an article, to create a backlink? And what does it cost us to actually write an article.
And again, this is stuff, if I'm a newbie or intermediate, I have to be bringing these numbers to the table, right, guys?
Sure.
So I have to kind of know or estimate or round off. One of the big questions we get is, well, I pay by the dozen, or I have 25 articles done at the same time. So I can average them and put in a basic estimate, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's something we should address.
Yeah. If you do 4 articles for $100, then your article cost is $25
Right,
per
divide.
article.
Just wanted to add that in there because we do get questions on
Just
that.
break it down.
All right.
Then what we do in DWS is we factor the conversions for your business. And this is where people really get jammed up because they don't actually think about these things. So if you're an affiliate marketer and you want to do affiliate products, this becomes very important because you'll very quickly see, is it worth your while building a website for this product or not? Is actually promoting it with a traditional SEO plan the best, or is it better just to throw pay-per-click at it and then convert it? So you can actually see how you're going to save your time and your money. So
This is one of the pivotal points that you brought to the application.
Absolutely.
actually,
I want to slow it down.
because
Exactly.
you've changed it right here from the idea of being a website
That's right.
to the idea of being a business.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You're no longer just creating a website, but you're actually looking at this to see if it's financially viable. I'm going to invest so much money, I'm going to invest so much time, and I'm looking to get this much out of it.
It's an ROI, promotional and syndication and marketing ROI forecasting and sculpting tool.
Yeah.
And he's brought that KPI to stuff that, Kraken and the rest of it, we were able to get an idea of who had most of the money and where the gigantic piles of money keyword was sitting in
Right.
vertical markets.
Right.
But we never really had that pointing back at you, pointing back at my business and saying, okay, now that we know that, here's how much I can estimate it's going to cost myself or my client and make decisions based on that.
yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Very, very powerful. Because if you think of the process, we're basically saying over here in the first one, I'm expecting at least 25% of the clicks when I'm ranked for the keyword or for the theme to go through to my website.
Right.
When they actually land on my webpage, if I don't know the market and I don't know my conversions, if it's a new website, take either 0.5 or 1%, which is typically your media or offline marketing conversion rates for your ads.
Yep.
Stick that in there, and that scales down all that traffic to X amount of conversions.
Right.
Then, if I've got a business where the website's driving leads and my office, the guys in my office, the salesmen in my office are getting these leads, I'm handing them out. If I put in their conversion rate, if their conversion rate is like 20%, they just can't be asked to convert them. It's going to become very difficult to achieve the company's goals financially with all the money we're putting in to drive the leads. So by tweaking the page conversion, the on-page conversion, and by increasing the sales conversions that can squeeze the most out of each thing, you can radically change your business's bottom line. Also, if you know those numbers up front and you actually go look at the market you want to enter into, you can really see, actually, I'm not going to make money in this market, or if I tweak things, these are the minimum barriers to entry I need to achieve from the sales teams to actually make money out of this market.
Right, or with the whole KEI mindset, and this is like 1,000 miles beyond that. You're going to know what you're going to make money on first, at the very least.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's even cooler.
And that's before you spend a cent.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not spend, so you can actually map out a market, and before you even invest any money into it,
And I got
not go into it blind.
Yeah, exactly. And I do have to add here and toot my own horn and wave our own flag here is that I have done a lot of research. I mean, you guys know how many applications I buy and test and all that stuff. It's like, so far, as far as I know, there are no applications out there that use that create a cybernetic financial, promotional, and marketing forecasting model for you that includes SEO and syndication. So that is, kind of an all stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, okay, that is our distinction if we really set it aside.
Sure.
So
The first one, anyway, that
Okay.
we've come across.
that's one of our main distinctions, of which now there's so many falling off my plate that I don't even know what to do with. So. But continue.
So then finally what we do is we say, okay, how much do we make on average? What's the profit we make? Because we're in this to make money. We're not yet to build a pretty website. If we are, that's fine.
What?
But most people here are yet to make money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we said we make on average $50 a sale, £50 per sale, that DWS is actually split out. If you ranked in position 1, 2, and 3, you potentially can make X amount of money for this keyword.
Based
Yeah.
on all of those conversion percentages
Based on
that
the
follow
conversions.
above
So this
that.
is why, let me just, as a neophyte or beginner, because you guys are like way more advanced than me, if I'm a beginner and I'm coming up with these numbers, I can go through each of these processes, and we have help files that'll, guide people through doing this. But I have to be really careful with this screen, because it really does. If I do it wrong, or I don't think clearly, or I don't fill in each thing, it's going to affect the keywords on the next screen, like the keyword decision screen, right?
Right.
I mean, it might even affect what keywords do or do not have a green flag next to it.
Absolutely.
So that's where we're going, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good for everyone to know. Like, really, I got to be honest. When I was first using this tool, I loved to rush through this screen. Because
Right.
I was like, numbers, ew, right?
Right.
But then when you start really working with them, it's a lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, okay, am I really paying that much for that article? No, and the price was way too high, right?
Exactly.
Or let me tell another story. I have a client who's an affiliate marketer, and those numbers are kind of scary because, she might find out, which is actually true, that she's not making anywhere near as much money as she thought, and the projections are nowhere near what she was hoping in certain kinds of words.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you can just switch the words you're using, and you can find other pockets of markets. There is a possibility of finding that you're like in the wrong forest. You're not on the wrong tree, you're in the wrong forest. That can happen, but most of the time, you're going to be able to find that you're just, you need to shift around your thinking about your KDNA and the rest.
Well, here's the important part there. If you might think you're in the wrong forest, actually you might be looking for the wrong berries in the forest.
Right,
You're
exactly.
looking for strawberries in the forest, but actually blueberries is what you're after.
Well, exactly. And my point was just to remind people, A, don't be afraid of numbers. B, you'll be glad you did them. C, you're going to find the right kind of berries. And D, worst case scenario, you do find out you're in the wrong forest and, find a new one, and we still saved you money. So
So then what we do is we want to set a goal. We want to try and achieve X amount of money in our business per month. I want to earn 15 grand a month from this website. So what this does is it crunches up all the numbers. It basically tells me, and I say, let's just say my budget for the year is 10 grand. I've got 10 grand to invest into this business. I've done this for a particular reason. It's because it's in the mind. I want to sort of turning on. We're investing money. Either if you're doing it yourself, you're investing time, but your time is worth something. And if you're not, you're doing it for clients. The client's got to pay you for your time. And you've got to find out how much they can actually afford. If they can't afford certain keywords, they can't expect to rule the world.
again, you're talking about, I don't want anyone to be confused, you're talking about the amount of money that a client is willing to spend on promotion, which we're going to talk about later, right?
Yes.
So SEO, syndication, because you guys have been doing this for so long, it's like sometimes I just forget, it's like when you're talking about cost, you're talking about how much it costs me to promote, to rank for these keywords.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, because that's really cool that you can tell me that. I'm just blown away.
Yeah, we can't tell you what your ROI is going to be on social media because that's just a gray area. Every market is a completely different thing. But we can tell you, we can give you an idea of what your ROI is going to be for your natural rankings. So that's what we're looking at here. So
Okay,
just
gotcha.
keep that in mind. Your sales will probably be higher. Your costs will probably be lower.
Yeah, but
But
we're
we're giving
given
you
a
a
worst
worst-case
case
scenario.
we're given a worst case scenario of what can happen, and if you're using website style architecture and all the other things in our one feed perpetual lead magnet machine system, likelihood is you'll bring that down even more.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we like using the term the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Great term, barrier to
It's
entry.
how much must I put in to break through to earn this market?
I wonder if we
Yeah.
should rename this the barrier to entries.
Yeah, we could.
It's pretty
so
good. Okay,
what this
continue.
does over here, these two columns are interesting. We basically says here we need at least 100 visitors to create one sale, and to meet our financial goal, we need to do at least 300 sales a month.
Now those are calculated automatically, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the calculator is automated now. That's
And now
great.
this is the most important part. Before we've started a project, we know we got to find 30,000 unique hits to our site a month.
Right.
it's amazing you can come up with these numbers. It really puts things in perspective,
It
right?
does.
I mean, it's been doing it for me, I must say, on certain things that I'm working on,
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm really passionate about this topic, okay. But gee, I need a whole lot more silos, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay.
If you need 15 billion people to your site, you know
gotta-
it's probably not going to work.
You've got a challenge, or else you're going to have to do a lot of social media.
Exactly. So yeah, what we're trying to achieve in this screen is, as you're getting to fill it out, we're actually trying to just trigger the key things you should be thinking about and looking at. It's not just filling numbers and skip past it. If you actually look at this up front, you might think, if I'm getting 25%, if I turn this down to 25%, it just impacts everything all the way through the whole process.
I actually sit and play with this sometimes and really think about what my life looks like in relationship to what I would have to do to get it to be a certain way.
Right.
It's kind of fun to sculpt. They call that forecasting sculpting, right?
Yep.
Number sculpting.
And think about it, because if you're doing an affiliate product, that means you're relying on that affiliate site to actually do the final conversion
I know,
for
I just
you.
did those numbers. It's
yeah,
not pretty.
it's not pretty.
It's sad, actually.
Yeah. It's enough to drive you to drink.
Another reason to own your own product, which we get into a lot.
Exactly.
We talk a lot about that in the perpetual lead magnet machine,
Yep.
and how to use affiliate get the affiliate layer. Earlier we talked about WR1, 2, and 3. We do get into WR3 as an affiliate layer. So, but just keep in mind that these numbers will. Sorry, Matt. We'll show you that stuff.
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
So Steers, this is her own business. She's not doing any back office sales. So I've just blanked it out. I've set it to 100% conversion because it's basically a direct transaction. People hit her website. She gets the lead. Bang. She's a good salesperson, and she converts nearly all the people that come once they speak to her.
Excellent.
Good, because she's got a lot of those to get $15,000 worth of haircuts. That's a lot.
Yeah, she hands it over to her sister, who's an expert. She does all the making the girls look lovely.
Got it.
So we just click update or create a new project. It brings us back to the page, and that leaves us where we are with what we said. So
Okay. So that's how we got that information onto the...
Right.
Okay.
So just to reiterate, we created an empire, sarahthecruise.com. We've then added a new site. In that instance, we went update. But if we want to build another website for Sarah, we just click on that one, add a new site.
Excellent.
And it takes us through the project, and we add another site in our empire.
Fantastic.
So
there we go.
When you work through this process, Sarah's really got other ideas, like she wants to do a makeup artist directory. So when I finish this one, I'm going to click add a new site, and we start mapping out the directory for all the makeup artists.
Yeah.
Wow, so you can really kind of map out and project before you even get an FTP.
Yes.
Before you even load the database, the WordPress database.
Before the domain name is even a sparkle in your eye.
What? You mean I don't get to spend $7 to $9 every night after 9 o'clock?
You will anyway.
Depending upon how many beers the team has drank. Okay.
Cool.
All right, gotcha. So
that's the project set up, and that's how we get to actually start the whole process.
Okay.
That's the beginning.
I think that's a great ending point because my brain, I'm a good beginner user. I think we should move into another video because that is just fantastic what you just showed. I mean, that's huge. I think the business decision screen deserves its own video and audio and training area. I really do.
Yeah.
'Cause just those numbers alone. He's been doing those numbers for so long. He talks about them as the business mastery.
Yes.
This is business mastery, right?
Yes.
And business mastery is kind of your expertise. So let's just stop. Let me absorb this, and before everybody else, go ahead and get a drink of water and come back, and then we'll get some coffee. And now that you've got your business understanding tied to SEO and online marketing, you'll be ready to move on to the other stuff.
To keywords.
Yeah.
Excellent.